You have undoubtedly experienced moments of weariness, despair, and even self-doubt when confronting life's challenges, particularly the complexities of family relationships. If you are listening to this, you may have felt the pain and difficulty of dealing with a mother whose actions, words, or behavior are unpleasant, even toxic. However, understand that every challenge holds a purpose greater than you realize. These trials, these hurts, may be God's way of conveying a message designed to foster your growth and strengthen you beyond measure. 1. Sacred separation. God has a purpose in every trial. Separation from your mother is not abandonment but a component of God's larger plan for you. From a religious perspective, this can be understood as part of a process by which God prepares your soul for a greater mission. It is a process of refinement, through which you will mature, strengthen, and become capable of fulfilling the tasks God intends for you. This separation fosters growth. This separation teaches self-reliance and independence from others, particularly familial relationships, enabling you to find confidence within yourself and in your relationship with God. Through separation, you gain opportunities for spiritual development, viewing life and relationships from a new perspective. Separation signifies selection. God's separation of you from your mother or other close relationships signifies your selection for a special mission. This does not imply abandonment but rather preparation for a sacred task achievable only when unbound by worldly ties. Separation from your mother leads to divine love, while maternal and familial love provide comfort and protection. Separation teaches you to seek a more enduring and powerful love from God. This absence reveals God's love as surpassing all earthly love, essential for fulfilling your mission. Loneliness is part of the sacred process. The loneliness experienced can be painful. Yet it is God's method of working in your life. It eliminates external distractions, fostering spiritual growth and strengthening faith. It also cultivates self-reliance and comfort within your relationship with God. Separation reveals dependence on God. Separated from your mother, you relinquish dependence on her love and protection, seeking support from God. This clarifies your relationship with God, revealing His constant presence and provision of comfort. 2. The power of solitude. Discovering inner strength. Solitude and adversity present opportunities to uncover and cultivate latent potential. Deprived of external support systems, such as family, individuals are compelled to access intrinsic strength to navigate challenges. This process reveals that power originates not solely from external sources, but from within, a wellspring of faith, willpower, and resilience. Growth through hardship. True strength is not nurtured solely in favorable circumstances. Conversely, confronting solitude and adversity is integral to personal growth. Like a flame requiring heat to ignite, individuals require hardship to flourish and strengthen. Solitude provides a crucible for cultivating patience, perseverance, and the ability to confront fear. Finding strength in faith. When facing trials and loneliness, faith offers a powerful refuge. It serves as a driving force, enabling perseverance through difficulties and fostering a sense of divine presence during feelings of abandonment. Solitude facilitates the understanding that strength emanates not only from within but also from a connection with the divine and faith in a higher purpose. Embracing solitude's power. Solitude transcends the mere absence of others. It represents an opportunity for self-confrontation. Embracing solitude fosters self-awareness, revealing aspirations, desires, and unexplored facets of the self. This introspective process unveils previously unrecognized inner strength, fostering independence and self-reliance. Solitude cultivates independence and self-reliance. Without familial support, individuals learn to resolve problems autonomously, stand firm, and seek internal solace. This enhances self-confidence and demonstrates the capacity to overcome challenges independently. Despite feelings of loneliness, deepening the connection with the divine. Solitude provides ample opportunity to cultivate a profound connection with the divine. Free from distractions, individuals can focus on prayer, reflection, and spiritual communion. These moments of solitude foster a tangible sense of divine presence, offering encouragement and empowerment to overcome adversity. Cultivating resilience and fighting spirit. The strength derived from solitude transcends mere endurance. It encompasses the capacity to combat life's challenges. These trials may involve material or emotional deprivation, or internal struggles against negative thoughts, anxieties, and fears. Resilience and a fighting spirit enable not only survival but also growth, fostering the ability to rise after setbacks. A reminder of latent strength. The concept of strength through solitude underscores that strength is not immediately apparent. It is forged over time, through trials, and through confronting loneliness. These difficulties are not intended to weaken, but to refine and strengthen, enabling individuals to withstand life's vicissitudes. 3. Sacred love, not worldly comfort. Worldly love is inherently conditional and temporary, contingent upon external factors such as empathy, reciprocity, or familial and social connections. While it may offer fleeting solace and joy, it ultimately fails to satisfy the deepest spiritual longings. Its limitations are defined by time, space, and the ever-shifting dynamics of life. In stark contrast, divine love, emanating from God, is unconditional, eternal, and immutable. This love, accessed through faith and spiritual connection, transcends circumstances and external influences, serving as an intrinsic source of profound peace and boundless affection. Worldly comforts, success, recognition, even familial love, are inherently transient. Their absence can engender feelings of loss, loneliness, and unworthiness. Divine love, however, is perpetual and unwavering, enduring even amidst life's vicissitudes, providing solace and strength during suffering and abandonment. The discovery of divine love eliminates the need for worldly solace. It instills inner peace, serenity, and the unwavering conviction that even in the face of adversity, one is never truly alone. Faith and divine love foster a palpable sense of God's presence, empowering individuals to navigate life's challenges with unwavering fortitude. Worldly love is susceptible to the influence of external factors, including the actions and circumstances of others. Rejection or lack of validation can inflict emotional wounds and feelings of inadequacy. Divine love, however, remains impervious to such external pressures. It is unconditional, ever-present, and unyielding in the face of life's trials. Worldly pursuits offer ephemeral joy. Divine love bestows enduring happiness. While worldly achievements may provide temporary gratification, this satisfaction inevitably fades, prompting the pursuit of further fulfillment. Divine love, however, provides profound and lasting joy, stemming not from transient factors but from an enduring and unconditional connection with the Creator. A life lived in divine love reveals life's purpose and inherent meaning. It transcends the pursuit of material pleasures and external validation, unveiling a deeper spiritual dimension where love and connection with God are paramount in times of suffering, loss, or hardship. Worldly love often proves insufficient. Divine love, however, serves as an unwavering source of strength and resilience. Faith in God's love mitigates feelings of loneliness and despair, fostering inner strength and the resolve to confront any challenge. Ultimately, a conscious shift from seeking solace in temporal and material comforts to embracing the divine love of God is essential. While worldly comforts offer fleeting sensations, they fail to satisfy the soul. Divine comfort, however, is eternal and unconditional, representing a transition from the pursuit of short-lived pleasure to the attainment of lasting peace within divine love. 4. Resilience in the face of adversity. Resilience is not merely endurance or stoicism. It transcends passive suffering and resignation in the face of adversity. It is the capacity to stand firm and find the strength to persevere despite hardship. Within the context of faith, resilience signifies unwavering belief in God, remaining steadfast even amidst trials. This is a spiritual process where each challenge becomes an opportunity to refine faith and mature in love. Resilience born of faith and connection with God stems from an unshakable belief in God's presence and love. This profound faith mitigates feelings of loneliness and despair during difficult times. Faith acts as an invisible yet potent force, enabling the overcoming of darkness. Connection with God provides solace, guidance, and empowerment to confront life's challenges. Divine love serves as a powerful impetus for resilience in the face of suffering. Experiencing this love assures one of never being abandoned, regardless of pain or loss. This divine love not only soothes pain but also fosters inner strength to continue one's journey. Irrespective of obstacles, trials are an integral part of life, and these difficulties foster personal growth. Overcoming challenges leads to spiritual development and valuable lessons learned. Resilience during hardship refines faith, enhances understanding, and enriches the soul. Challenges cease to be feared but become opportunities for growth, strengthening faith and resilience. Resilience manifests not only in significant events but also in daily life. It is demonstrated in how one handles minor setbacks, perseveres in work and relationships, and maintains faith in daily life. This resilience does not negate feelings of pain or weariness but represents the ability to remain steadfast, upholding faith and hope in God under all circumstances. Demonstrating resilience in difficult situations transcends personal triumph, it inspires others. The unwavering resolve in the face of adversity serves as a model for the community. Restoring faith and hope. This resilience creates a positive ripple effect, where strong faith encourages and assists others in developing their own resilience. True resilience is not a product of individual strength but stems from dependence on God. With faith in God, one recognizes the unnecessary burden of facing trials alone. God provides constant support, protection, and guidance through adversity. Faith in God's presence and power forms the foundation for resilience in all trials. Challenges hold significance as opportunities to witness God's greatness. Overcoming trials deepens understanding of God's love, protection, and power. Difficulties become opportunities to witness God's magnificence, strengthening faith and fostering greater resilience. Finally, resilience in the face of adversity sustains hope and faith in the future. Despite unforeseen circumstances, resilient individuals maintain belief in positive outcomes. They trust that every storm yields a sunrise, and every challenge is a necessary step toward a brighter future. 5. The objective is to transcend worldly relationships. Worldly relationships encompass the connections humans forge in daily life: family, friends, colleagues, and acquaintances. These relationships offer support, love, and a sense of belonging. However, they are inherently imperfect, influenced by human flaws like selfishness, ambition, and life's constant flux. While worldly relationships provide joy and comfort, their limitations stem from their dependence on circumstance and change. They are vulnerable to hurt, breakdown, and may fail to satisfy humanity's deepest needs, potentially leading to loneliness, disappointment, or loss. Consequently, worldly relationships cannot provide lasting fulfillment for the human spirit. Transcending worldly relationships means not relying on them for comfort, happiness, or purpose. Instead, one seeks a divine relationship with God as the life's central focus. Faith provides unconditional love and comfort, mitigating dependence on worldly factors. This relationship with God is eternal and impervious to circumstantial change. A divine relationship with God offers strength and unwavering faith, surpassing what worldly relationships can provide. God offers unconditional love, guidance, and comfort, enabling one to navigate challenges without succumbing. Only through finding peace and meaning in this relationship can worldly relationships be viewed correctly. One purpose of transcending worldly relationships is to avoid being bound by them. This doesn't imply abandoning social connections, but rather refusing to let them dictate emotions, actions, and decisions. Prioritizing a relationship with God allows one to love others without being dependent on their love in return, fostering healthier relationships free from unrealistic expectations. Transcending worldly attachments leads to spiritual freedom, not isolation or emotional detachment, but the freedom to love unconditionally. One is no longer controlled by the pain, disappointment, or expectations of relationships, instead loving and living according to God's will. This freedom fosters strength, peace, and faith even when transcending worldly relationships. This doesn't necessitate neglecting or rejecting them. Family, work, and social relationships can be maintained, but with a proper perspective. These relationships should not dominate life. Instead, they are navigated with maturity and love, aiming for harmony and justice while upholding the divine connection. Worldly relationships, when understood correctly, become tools for spiritual growth and service to God. They are not the ultimate goal but supplements to a spiritual life. These relationships can be used to demonstrate God's love and cultivate virtues like patience, humility, and selflessness by transcending worldly relationships and finding spiritual purpose in a relationship with God. One becomes a role model. Others observe a difference in how they love and act, inspiring and encouraging others in their pursuit of spiritual peace. 6. Jesus and spiritual separation. Spiritual separation, or the detachment of earthly, transient values from the eternal principles taught by Jesus Christ, love, justice, faith, and sacrifice, is not a physical division but a clear spiritual and moral distinction. It necessitates prioritizing connection with God over material or worldly pursuits. Jesus consistently emphasized the distinction between the world and God's kingdom, urging followers to live differently, resisting worldly desires. He declared, "My kingdom is not of this world," John chapter 18 verse 36. Requiring the renunciation of worldly attachments for entry into God's kingdom. Spiritual separation involves distancing oneself from negative worldly influences, selfishness, materialism, and sinful habits. Jesus did not advocate complete withdrawal from the world, but rather a distinct moral and spiritual standard, uninfluenced by societal negativity. This fosters inner purity and closeness to God. Jesus himself exemplifies spiritual separation. Despite facing worldly temptations and challenges, he maintained holiness and spiritual detachment from earthly values, forsaking worldly glory to fulfill his redemptive mission. His resistance to Satan's temptations in the desert, Matthew chapter 4 verses 1 to 11, demonstrates his unwavering obedience to God over worldly power. To be a disciple, one must relinquish worldly ties. Anyone who loves their father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, Matthew chapter 10 verse 37, does not necessitate familial abandonment, but prioritizes love and loyalty to God. This fosters inner sanctity where faith and obedience become paramount. Jesus taught discerning between material and spiritual values, warning against serving two masters, God and wealth, Matthew chapter 6 verse 24. Emphasizing the danger of worldly desires obscuring spiritual connection. Followers of Jesus, children of light, must live differently, rejecting sinful actions and thoughts, embracing humility, love, and honesty. The goal is spiritual purity and a close relationship with God, bearing witness through actions and words, shining as lights in the world, Matthew chapter 5 verse 14. Jesus' suffering on the cross represents the ultimate spiritual separation. His prayer, "Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me, yet not my will, but yours be done," Matthew chapter 26 verse 39, exemplifies complete detachment from personal desires to fulfill God's will. This represents the ultimate sacrifice and self-denial in modern society. Spiritual separation remains crucial for believers. Despite worldly temptations and sin, Christians are called to live according to God's kingdom values, love, justice, and humility. This requires resolute separation from worldly behaviors, thoughts, and values incompatible with Christian faith. 7. Honor your mother. Biblical basis. Reverence for parents is one of the 10 commandments God gave to the Israelites. Honor your father and your mother, so that you may live long in the land the Lord your God is giving you. Exodus chapter 20 verse 12. This is a timeless principle applicable not only to ancient Israelite families but also to all Christians today. The meaning of honoring one's mother. Honoring is more than superficial respect. It's a sincere attitude of gratitude and love. This includes listening to one's mother, providing care when needed, and treating her with respect in word and deed. It also means understanding and acknowledging her crucial role in one's life, expressing gratitude for her sacrifices, care, and love. Mothers are the first to instill life's values, from teaching speech and movement to moral and ethical lessons. Why honoring one's mother is important. Mothers nurture and care. They bring us into the world, dedicate time to our care from infancy, and provide basic needs like food, security, and love. Mothers often serve as the family's bedrock, selflessly sacrificing to protect and nurture their children. They exemplify patience and unconditional love. A mother's patience and love are profound lessons. They teach forgiveness, patience, and selfless sacrifice. Honoring one's mother upholds family values. The family is society's foundation. And the parent-child relationship is crucial to building a strong society. Honoring one's mother is not merely personal gratitude but contributes to strengthening family and societal bonds. Honoring one's mother in Christian life. In Christianity, honoring one's mother is not only a filial duty but also an expression of love for God. Jesus lived a life of obedience to his mother, Mary. Throughout his life, he respected and obeyed her. Even as he matured and began his ministry, he told his mother at the wedding at Cana, "Woman, what concern is that to you and to me? My hour has not yet come." John chapter 2 verse 4. This demonstrates Jesus' respect and understanding of his mother's role in his life. Mary is a model of humility and sacrifice. And honoring one's mother is a way to learn from and emulate her virtues. How to honor one's mother. Caring for an aging mother. As mothers age, children must provide physical and emotional support. This demonstrates gratitude and respect for their lifelong contributions. Listening and understanding. Honoring also involves listening, understanding, and treating one's mother with love and empathy. While she may not always be right, listening to and respecting her opinions demonstrates reverence. Spending quality time. In busy lives, the importance of quality time with one's mother is often overlooked. Honoring includes creating moments of connection, engaging in simple activities like conversation or walks, or simply sitting together to share affection. Demonstrating gratitude through actions. Honoring is not just words but actions. Frequent gestures of care, concern, and love are the best ways to express gratitude. Honoring one's mother and family morality. Honoring one's mother helps children develop crucial moral values. In respecting their mothers, children learn to respect others, fostering a more humane and just society. It also cultivates patience, forgiveness, and unconditional love. Honoring one's mother across cultures. In many cultures, honoring one's mother is paramount. In many societies, mothers are seen as models of sacrifice and patience, and children are responsible for upholding these values. While expressions of honor may vary culturally, the core meaning of gratitude and respect remains constant. 8. The sacred purpose of solitude. Biblical and Christian theological foundations. Scripture reveals numerous instances of solitude, particularly in the lives of prominent figures such as Jesus, the prophets, and saints. A prime example is Jesus' withdrawal to the desert for prayer and communion with God before commencing his public ministry. Matthew chapter 4 verses 1 to 11. This solitude was not isolation, but rather a separation from the world to seek divine guidance and unity with God. Jesus frequently sought solitude for prayer and communion with his Father, as evidenced in Luke chapter 5 verse 16, but he often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. This demonstrates that solitude is not merely a state of quietude, but a means of achieving intimacy with God and discovering one's spiritual purpose. Solitude as a spiritual tool. Separation from the world. Solitude can be understood as detachment from the noise and distractions of worldly life. This creates space and time for individuals to cultivate a deeper relationship with God. In solitude, one can introspect, confront inner struggles, and discern God's ordained spiritual path. Capacity for self-discovery and contemplation. Solitude offers an opportunity for self-confrontation, identifying weaknesses and strengths, and recognizing God's necessity in life. Free from external distractions, individuals can more clearly perceive their spiritual purpose and find solace in God. Quietude for prayer. Solitude provides the stillness necessary for uninterrupted prayer and direct communion with God. Solitary prayer purifies the soul and fosters a deeper understanding of one's spiritual purpose. Unburdened by worldly distractions, the voice of God becomes more readily audible. Solitude and self-awareness. Life reflection. Solitude provides time for self-reflection and contemplation of life experiences. Solitude allows for the recognition of mistakes, imperfections, and the pursuit of change. This fosters humility and the seeking of God's forgiveness. Discovering weakness and dependence on God. In solitude, one acknowledges personal weaknesses and complete dependence on God. This is crucial for spiritual growth, teaching humility and the understanding that one cannot achieve life's purpose without divine assistance. Spiritual purpose in solitude according to Jesus. Learning obedience and God's love. Solitude is a time to learn complete obedience to God's will. Jesus experienced solitude, such as during his prayer in Gethsemane before his arrest. Matthew chapter 26 verse 39. Praying, "Father, if you are willing, remove this cup from me, yet not my will, but yours be done." Through solitude, Jesus demonstrated absolute obedience to God, setting an example for believers. Seeking comfort in God. Solitude can also be a time to experience God's comforting presence. In moments of feeling abandoned or alone, one can find solace in God, fostering trust and a closer relationship. Solitude in the personal faith journey. Stillness to hear God's call. A spiritual purpose of solitude is to create space for hearing God's call in one's life. In the midst of a busy life, God's voice may be missed. Solitude facilitates contemplation and the discernment of divine guidance. Solitude fosters faith. During solitude, one can cultivate faith and learn to live according to spiritual values. Solitude does not imply a lack of love or God's presence, but rather an opportunity for a deeper experience of faith. As in solitude, one turns to God for healing and guidance. Solitude and preparation for spiritual mission. Solitude is a preparatory phase, just as Jesus experienced solitude to prepare for his ministry. Believers may undergo periods of solitude to prepare for challenges and God-ordained missions in their lives. Solitude provides the steadfastness and strength to fulfill these missions. 9. Refinement and maturation. Biblical foundations of refinement and maturity. Romans chapter 5 verses 3 to 4. And not only this, but we also exult in our tribulations, knowing that tribulation brings about perseverance, and perseverance, proven character, and proven character, hope. This passage demonstrates that enduring life's trials is not meaningless. It purposefully leads to maturity and unwavering hope in God. James chapter 1 verses 2 to 4. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. This passage illustrates that through trials and hardships, one's faith is refined and developed, leading to spiritual maturity and virtue. 1 Peter chapter 1 verses 6 to 7. In this you rejoice, though now for a little while, if necessary, you have been grieved by various trials, so that the tested genuineness of your faith, more precious than gold that perishes though it is tested by fire, may be found to result in praise and glory and honor at the revelation of Jesus Christ. Refinement and trials in life. The meaning of refinement. In the Bible, refinement is depicted as gold and silver being melted in fire to remove impurities, leaving only the precious material. Similarly, individuals, through life's trials, are refined, eliminating weaknesses and sins, thus becoming purer and stronger in faith. Trials as opportunities to refine faith. When facing trials, individuals not only learn patience but also develop dependence on God. Life's difficulties become tools to refine faith, helping individuals find comfort and guidance from God. Through these trials, their faith is refined to become stronger, like pure gold that has passed through fire. Maturity in faith. Maturity through trials. Maturity in faith is not automatic. It results from persevering through trials and hardships. When facing difficulties, individuals learn to perceive and handle them differently. They learn to rely on God's strength, not their own. Each trial contributes to their growth and development in understanding God's will in their lives. Maturity in love and service. When one's faith is tested, they not only become stronger but also mature in love and service. Trials help them better understand eternal values such as love, patience, forgiveness, and compassion. They become capable of serving those around them and demonstrating God's love in daily life. Refinement and maturity as a process. The crucible of trials. Experiencing life's trials is not a single event but a prolonged process, with each trial serving as a crucible to strengthen individuals. Just as a blacksmith forges strong tools from raw materials, God uses trials to shape one's faith and character. Accepting gradual progress. Maturity in faith is not always rapid, like trees needing seasons to grow. Faith requires time to mature through trials and refinement. In this patience, believers learn to trust God's guidance and not rush to achieve goals. Refinement and maturity in relationship with God. Closeness to God through trials. During trials, individuals may feel closer to God's love than ever before. Trials teach them to trust God's presence in all situations, whether joyful or sorrowful. Through this refinement, the relationship with God becomes deeper and more meaningful. Perfection in faith. Refinement helps individuals learn to live according to God's will and perfect their faith. When facing trials, they learn to pray, seek comfort and guidance from God, thereby becoming stronger in faith. Refinement and maturity within the faith community. Support from fellow believers. In the process of refinement and maturity, the faith community plays a crucial role. Believers can support each other during trials, sharing experiences and helping each other overcome difficulties. The faith community becomes an environment where everyone grows and matures in faith. Examples from those who have gone before. Those mature in faith become examples for others. They share valuable lessons on facing trials, seeking God's guidance, and living a strong and resilient life of faith. 10. Your sacred vocation. The divine calling. A divine calling is not a generic summons but a unique, personal invitation from God, inviting each believer to participate in His sacred work. This may be a call to serve in a specific area, e.g., preaching, aiding the poor, community service, or to live a life guided by faith-based values, e.g., love, forgiveness, patience. The uniqueness of the calling. Each individual possesses a distinct calling. Unlike any other, no one can substitute for another's mission. God created each person with unique talents, abilities, and circumstances, and each individual's divine calling is often intrinsically linked to these elements. This helps them recognize their crucial role in God's plan. Biblical examples of callings. God's call to Abraham, Genesis chapter 12 verses 1-3. The Lord said to Abram, "Go from your country, your people and your father's household to the land I will show you." Abraham received a divine call from God to leave his homeland and journey to a place God would guide him to. This was a challenging call demanding unwavering faith in God. The call of Jesus, Mark chapter 1 verses 16-20, as Jesus walked beside the Sea of Galilee. He called Simon and Andrew, and then James and John. "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." This call was not merely an invitation to follow Jesus but an invitation to participate in a greater mission, God's work of teaching and salvation. Paul's calling, Romans chapter 1 verse 1. Paul identified himself as a servant of Christ Jesus, called to be an apostle and set apart to preach the gospel of God. Paul clearly recognized his divine calling, to preach the gospel to the nations. Recognizing the divine calling. Listening for God's voice. To recognize a divine calling, believers need a close relationship with God through prayer, meditation, and studying His Word. Recognizing a calling isn't a sudden event but a gradual process. God may call through subtle signs, inner feelings, life circumstances, or other people. Listening in silence. Sometimes, the divine calling comes silently, not as a loud voice, but as a gentle prompting. A call only a believer with an open heart can perceive. Therefore, silence, contemplation, and prayer are essential for discerning God's call. Signs from life circumstances. God may also use life events, opportunities, or even challenges to guide individuals toward their divine calling. Each person must be aware and open to these signs. Responding to the divine calling. Obedience. Upon recognizing God's call, believers must respond with obedience. Answering the call isn't always easy, as it may require sacrifice, life changes, or facing challenges. However, like biblical figures, Abraham, Moses, the apostles, obedience is key to fulfilling God's assigned mission. Faith and hope. Responding to the calling involves not only physical action but also faith and hope. Believers must trust in God's guidance and hope in the outcome God will bring, even if the path is difficult. Concrete actions. A divine calling often leads to specific actions, such as community service, teaching God's Word, or changing one's lifestyle to reflect faith-based values. Sometimes, the calling may require specific roles, such as becoming a church leader, missionary, philanthropist, or simply a role model of faith within one's family and community. The divine calling and personal transformation. Life transformation. When a person recognizes and answers a divine calling, transformation occurs not only in actions but also in their thoughts and hearts. They become individuals filled with love, compassion, and selflessness. Their lives cease to revolve around themselves but focus on serving God and others. Discovering life's purpose. Upon recognizing and answering the divine calling, individuals often find their lives imbued with a clear, sacred purpose. They no longer live aimlessly but according to a larger plan God has laid out for them. This brings profound peace and satisfaction. Remember, you are not a victim of circumstance, you are a victor on this journey. Pain and suffering are not the end, but an opportunity for growth, self-improvement, and the discovery of your inner strength. Each challenge will make you stronger, and these difficulties will propel you to greater heights, enabling you to overcome any adversity. If you feel as though you are in the midst of a storm, trust that you have been chosen for this, because you are capable of overcoming it all. Your story is only just beginning, and great things await.